doing that I had.
What face?
This one I was like,
Oh, it's like Ugly Betty. Anyway, hello and welcome to Be Confused with the
hello.
anonymous host.
Were you recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello,
And,
everybody.
Yeah, so today we're recording because my co-host here, she kept insisting to record today, even though it's
I don't
not
know
Wednesday.
if I kept insisting.
You
I
insisted
asked
quite a
maybe
lot.
twice.
It was very insistive, and I had to give in.
Uh-huh.
And here we are. But now I actually want to talk about this topic. So, elaborate. What is it that we're talking about today?
Well, how are you?
I'm doing okay.
Are you actually?
I'm tired. No, I had a fight today with my fiance. Stupid fight. And then I came to my co-host for some advice.
You didn't come to me. I came to you because my spidey
I called you with my mind.
Tingling.
I hope Christina comes here. I want
help.
someone to agree with me. And she
and
did.
That rarely ever happens.
Yeah, so it didn't happen today either. But anyway,
but
I'm better. I
supposed to
apologized.
I'm not a.
No,
I'm a girl's girl.
Exactly. Keep doing that. Be on my fiance's side, and just
just always be on the other person's side. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
you have to know when you're wrong.
Be okay for me to be mad.
No, not at
then
me.
I'll apologize.
Not in my direction.
But then I'll apologize.
My own boyfriend doesn't get to do this. My friend is going to do that. No.
Uh-huh.
I had to do that with a client. They were mad at my direction, and I was like, "You don't get to speak to me like that." And then we had a silent session.
Okay. I don't want you to say that to me either.
Yeah, because I'll have to use my stern teacher voice.
No, I don't like that. Anyway.
Okay, so disclaimer: we don't know anything. We don't think anything. You know the drill.
Yeah.
We think a lot of things.
We think too much. Yeah.
I was talking to my client today about overthinking, and we discovered landmine thinking. I just brought this up. So landmine thinking is when you're upset because of something that happened in your life, and I have to be like, how am I going to approach this? And I have to overthink to avoid stepping on you as a landmine. Does that make sense?
No.
Well, at least it makes sense to my client.
No, yeah, but maybe it does make sense. Maybe it's me.
It could be you. It usually
maybe
is.
It's me. Comment if it makes sense to you. But anyway, what's the topic?
So another thing that I wanted to talk about was that I think I pick up things from people, and I think that might be like my neurodivergence or my autism. Like when I watched Suits and I would get into an argument with my partner, I would literally be channeling a high-powered New York attorney.
Okay.
And like recently I've been channeling because I've been watching the English version of Traitors. I'm like, oh, hello. And I'll just like randomly do that.
I think I do that.
Thoughts?
No, I think
do you pick up on things like that?
Yeah. Sometimes I just when I'm sad and I don't know why I'm sad, I just start singing the Rip My Pants song from SpongeBob.
That's not the same thing.
No? It feels like the same thing. Or when I'm happy or nostalgic, I sing the best time to wear a striped sweater.
I don't know what that is.
It's all the time. One with a colored turtleneck.
I wish our viewers could see my face.
Kind.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's the same thing. When I have strong feelings, I try to find a line or imitate a character that kind of channels those feelings. And it makes it look dumb and stupid, and then I feel better.
But I don't do it on purpose. It just happens.
Yeah, me too. It just happens.
But it's not the same thing. You're talking about being weird, and no, I'm being
weird that's
too.
Completely normal. Yeah.
That's me. That's not mean. I know I'm weird. Okay, so before we go into what our actual topic is today.
Sorry for trying to rush us.
Yeah, as you usually do.
Idea.
Shit. Can't even catch up. You never ask me.
Yeah.
I'm actually.
And I do care. It's just I forget.
But he forgets to care.
Yeah.
I'm okay. It got a little tense there.
Yeah.
From you.
I know, but what, do you feel better than last week?
When I wanted to kill myself?
Oh, we didn't speak about that in the podcast, but yeah.
We did.
We did?
Yeah, that was the whole episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm fine. Okay. It was just a a slip,
Okay.
fell off the wagon. And actually, I talked to my therapist about it, and it's been a response for so long dealing with my family. That's why it's just like habit at this point. But I have to challenge my thoughts and stuff like that. So yeah. I guess
channel them where?
Challenge.
Oh, challenge.
Or channel them to you. You can have these thoughts. Okay.
Because I was gonna say you can channel it to your pottery. Just put your thoughts in the pots.
I want my pottery to be nice. I'm gonna be eating and using it. I don't want negative energy in there.
But they're just gonna be there in the cup. They're not gonna go anywhere.
I know you don't believe in it, but I believe in putting love and energy into my art.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah. Okay. So I was thinking one day, and I'm slightly embarrassed that you mentioned my TikToks when I'm high. So thanks for that.
Why are you embarrassed? Because it's online. More people are gonna watch it.
I know, but nobody knows the story behind them. Only you and somebody else, and my partner, obviously.
And but at least I know that you're not crazy. You're just high.
Yeah. So it's people not watching it crazy, without the context. Are there crazy thoughts?
No, they're not crazy thoughts.
What are the thoughts?
They're just hard to understand.
No, they are.
No,
I try to make them coherent. They're not.
Okay.
Are they?
I don't know. Let's watch them together.
No. I would never do that.
You don't want to put... Oh, that could be a good episode. We could just...
I would die.
Put the audio of a video.
I would absolutely die.
So you don't go back and re-watch them?
I do. I like watching myself.
Okay, so you... Okay.
Yeah, I like watching myself like in my videos.
Do what?
And it makes sense.
Okay. And do you watch them not being high? Or you re-watch them high?
No, I don't watch my TikToks. I watch my Snapchats a lot.
Oh, so you don't... That's what I'm talking about, your TikToks.
No, should I watch them? Are they incoherent?
Maybe it's me. I don't know.
It has to be you.
Yeah, of course.
It has to be.
Yeah. So maybe that could be a good episode. We could
put
the audios here. It's already on TikTok.
They'll know me. They'll find me.
No, it's just the audio.
But they'll search the audio. AI can search the audio.
Okay.
I can bring thoughts to the podcast, and we can talk about them.
Okay, we could do that.
That was the whole concept that I had beginning this podcast, but
oh really? But you didn't mention it, right?
No.
Okay, so we got to it.
Okay. So I was really high, and I was thinking about judgment, and like, not like Bible judgment, but like. So
like judgment as in. Okay. The ability to decide what's right or what's wrong.
Well,
what's ethical,
from other
what's
people.
not
From
ethical?
other people. Okay. Well, we're not going to get there yet. Hold your horses. Okay. So I think that if I were to have an abortion, let's say, I know we always bring up abortion, but this is just for it. Mm-hmm. If I were to have an abortion and I were to talk to a person at church who said that they're unbiased, who said that, hey, like, they've never been mean to me, they've never been judgmental to me, there is still judgment based on the culture that person comes from, mm-hmm. the church. Let's say it's a church person, right? So there's all of that judgment that's behind that person not being judgmental. So I think like when people feel judgment, and I'll tell you more about who I'm talking about specifically, when people feel judgment, it's not necessarily the person that's judging them, the person that they're speaking to, or the person that they're feeling that judgment. It's their conceptualization of where that person has been in their background. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it makes sense. I had kind of the same, because I come from a very conservative, very religious background. So I do have these biases and I do have to be aware of them. And when I started this, and not so long ago, I kind of faced this bias, or kind of faced it. And I went to my supervisor, and she helped me look at it as a different way. For example, I was working with this client, with the mom. The child of the mom got raped or got sexually abused, and the mom didn't really seem mad because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Seem And the child wasn't scared mainly because of that. I feel like the child was more scared. Not child. She was like between 15 and 17 years of age, and the child was seemed more concerned about how her mother viewed her, or how the church
based on all
viewed
of
her,
the
how
stuff
God
behind.
viewed
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
And knowing the background, while they were doing an assessment to the mom, asking questions to the mom, one of the person that made the assessment asked her about having the daughter do a medical examination to see, if they find anything. And the mom said yes, yeah, I would consider that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, so we're gonna ask her, if she, even though she's a minor, if she doesn't want to do it, we're gonna respect that. It is her body and it's her choice. The mom heard that, and she lost it. Yeah, because I know that if I were in the shoes of the person that asked that question, even though I know that's the case, I wouldn't have used those terms,
that phrase,
because I know it's a trigger. I saw the cross on her shirt, the cross on her neck, and I saw all the signs. So because of the biases that I have, because of my background, that background that she doesn't have, she was raised in a more liberal and a more normal, I want to say, I mean, not normal, but
no,
in a more
liberal space.
Yeah. More aware of people's needs and people's rights and all that. She didn't see that. So because of my background, because of the background that I have, I was
your personal background.
My personal background, I was able to have that discernment to say, hey, okay, maybe I shouldn't say it this way, because it's going to trigger, and at the end, it's going to affect the victim. Because then
the client themselves.
The mom said no to the eval, then the child said yes to the eval,
and it always derailed because of that phrase being used.
Yes, because of that phrase. So that's a way that I can use my background in a positive way, like in my advantage. I have the ability to know, who am I speaking to and what things to say to try not to affect the client at the end of the day. So
okay, yeah. So that brings us into our topic for this episode, and we're just talking about, for me, the ACA, I don't even know what it's called, the American Counseling Association Code of Ethics. And so what my co-host and I were talking about a while ago that we wanted to talk about this episode is it ethical for a counselor to have voted for Trump?
A counselor or a social worker.
Or anybody in the helping field, honestly. A doctor, a nurse, whatever it is. Because if I'm a nurse and I don't believe that trans people have rights or should be treated in whatever, get medical care, is that not a conflict of interest?
It is, yeah. And
so you shouldn't be in that field.
Exactly, you shouldn't be in that field.
So according to our
but
research,
again, for the medical field, I'm not really sure. Maybe we're just talking from our butts. I don't know.
Yeah. So my A4B personal values. This is the one that I stopped on. This is only page 5, so I didn't go that far. Obviously, we don't do our research. Counselors are aware of and avoid imposing their own values, attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors. Counselors respect the diversity of clients, trainees, and research participants, and seek training in areas in which they are at risk of imposing their own values onto clients, especially when the counselor's values are inconsistent with the client's goals or are discriminatory in nature. So I think
it's very clear.
Well, so
it doesn't say don't vote for this, don't vote for that. It doesn't put that responsibility onto the counselor. But if you use your common sense.
But it's also saying, and maybe I misinterpreted this initially, if you have your values are inconsistent with your client's goals and or are discriminatory in nature, you should be seeking training in areas where you're at risk to imposing your values. Exactly. So where is this training for conservative people, for very Christians, religious people,
the Christians, Muslims?
Where are these trainings available? And looking at it from another perspective, Me as a liberal person who believes in whatever it is, how do I show up for somebody who is conservative and Christian and thinks that a whole population of people shouldn't exist because of their choice, quote unquote?
I think I know how to answer the first one. I don't know. I don't know how to answer the second one.
How to show up?
How to show up? Yeah.
Okay, so answer the first one.
I mean, I think, like you said, there needs to be some type of training, some type of or understanding, basic understanding that this might not be the field for you if you are someone that hold certain beliefs that might clash a little bit with your role as a counselor or as a social worker.
Especially if the trainings are like in the thousands. Like trainings are like $1,500, $2,000
easily.
Who wants to learn about trans people and pay $15,000 if they don't give a shit about trans people? I give a shit about trans people. I don't have $15,000.
Thankfully, my program, it's been very good with all that.
Well, that's my thing. I'm also looking, my program was social justice. That's all we did. So sometimes when I'm in a space with other counselors, I feel like this is a social justice thing. This is not what we should be doing. We can't just accept it. We can't just whatever. We have to speak on this. We have to advocate for it. And I think that as a counselor, as somebody who is understanding the darkest, deepest parts of society, because we're seeing everybody, especially not everybody in private practice, but what are we really doing?
Yeah. Something that we, on my class yesterday, my trauma class, we had this example client and we were divided in 4 different groups or 3 different groups. 4? Okay, I think 3 different groups. First group, and all of it, we were working on a client, but with different approaches in the sense that, for example, this group was working with the client individually to get them to meet the goals now, or to find the issues. Then this group was looking at the client at a meso level, like in a community level. What are the problems within the community that is affecting the client? Then my group was working with the client at a macro level, like the school.
That, right? You love that macro?
I hate the macro level.
I thought you loved the macro level.
No, I love that I learned about it, but it's so hard. Like this, like
no, for real.
I told the professor. I told the professor, there's very little to do. Like, professor, we realize that there is very little to do at a macro level because it seems like the system is against the client.
For real.
Yeah, the client is a client that was a victim of sexual abuse. Right now, the funds for sexually abused victims are being
frozen, right?
Frozen or taken away or lowered. Funding for mental health research and resources has been cut. So everything is against them.
Yeah.
So and it was cool because the professor helped us find, things that we could help.
Resources or like
resources or what things we could do at a macro level that could impact the client. I don't remember now. I need to look at my notes. But that is how we're supposed to look at a client. Not only consider the individual aspect of whatever he's going through, is what is causing those individual things, because everything, I don't know, at least in a social and it's a lens, like I look at it in a social lens perspective. The case was about this African American kid who lived in a bad community, and there were factors like generational what's it called?
Trauma, curses,
about money, generational poverty, racial discrimination, classism, all those things. Those are things that do play as an important factor in that individual's life.
And that individual cannot impact anything such as generational poverty. Like that is literally a systemic thing.
Yeah.
So how do we, I don't even think advocating is it. We have to change.
There is, and that's where we come in here. So there's very little that we can do, but there's somewhere we could start, and it's with our vote. And
Girl,
that when it comes into, and I know, but it's the only thing that we have. And let's say people that work in a mental health office, they work with what I just say, with minorities, with
queer,
marginalized
communities. Yeah.
There is something that they could do, and it's do a smart vote. And I don't think there should be a space, not saying that they should be fired, but everyone should be in the same space, or the mental health officer, or I don't know, whatever office that works with marginalized communities, they should provide a training or bring conscience to that we are. I don't know how to word it. I'm scared of talking about this because I don't know who listens. I don't know.
I agree. So I agree. I think that in a helping field, in a field with mental health, a field with medical, a field with all of these stuff, there has to be a standard of the people that are working there.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter your own personal beliefs, but it does matter because apparently our votes matter, which I don't also agree because
but
whatever.
The only thing that we have is that.
Yeah.
At least the illusion of it. And
so especially with the significant amount of changes and negative consequences to voting a certain way, I don't know if this is the space for you if you are voting for Trump, for people who want it to be more conservative, for people who think there's only genders. I don't think this particular helping field, is the right place for you. Because when a client comes into your office, that is supposed to be a safe space for them, a safe space for them to explore, a safe space for them to just be and find out who they are. There's an energy, I know you don't think this, but there is an energy to people who don't necessarily think that you should exist. There is an energy to people who don't necessarily think that what you are experiencing is valid. And if there are people in spaces like this, I think it's diluting what we're doing. I think it's also detrimental to the impact that we, counselors and social workers who actually believe in the cause of helping everybody, no matter what it is. I will help a Trump supporter just as much as I'll help a queer person or any other marginalized community. So I think that I know for a fact I have a bias against these people, but I also know for a fact that when it comes to the helping professional that I've chosen to be in, I want to work on that bias and I would go to a training. I would try to not impose my own personal beliefs and still validate their own personal beliefs. I also think that in this field, genuineness and authenticity is apparent and transparent. So a client can sense that energy and that inauthenticity if you are pretending to validate their experience.
And I don't want to interrupt you, but it is 22 minutes and it takes a long time to upload when it's over 20. Okay. But I think a good question to end this is, wouldn't
also,
you
take that away from your mouth, because I got feedback that sometimes you shove it in your mouth and it scares our viewers.
Okay, sorry about that. So to end, wouldn't it be the same thing you see in a conservative client that you have the biases against them? Wouldn't it be the same as a conservative counselor seeing someone with liberal abuse? We can answer that for the next podcast.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.